by the access portion of the neighboring lots. So on their site plan, you have Atherton Avenue coming down this way, as well as the access drive here for neighbor's lot, here for the other neighbor's lot, and then the drainage creek at the rear of the lot. Up here you have the uphill portion of the lot, and then it slopes about 44 feet down to this corner. The applicant is asking for various entitlement requests, and the process is a bit intertwined and complicated, so I'm going to go through each option. In order to achieve the desired design that the applicant is looking for, they're asking for several entitlements. There's currently a single-story home on the property with an attached garage, and the applicant is proposing to convert that garage to living space and add a detached garage to this side and a detached guest house, yoga studio with a basement underneath to this side. They're also proposing a retaining wall at the bottom of the lot, which will help raise the grade and level it out a bit for outdoor use for their lot. So the first request that they're asking for is the lot line redesignation, and this request is really being driven by the desire to locate the garage over here on the side. Currently, the front property line is along this portion of the lot. They're requesting a lot line redesignation to this portion of the lot. If granted, the proposed garage will be meeting all accessory structure setback requirements, and the proposed yoga studio would be going for a variance. So if you do approve this redesignation, an increase in non-conforming square footage would occur with the house. Currently, with this being the front, the house is in the required setbacks with the exception of about 3 square feet. If the lot line redesignation is approved, then a greater portion, these two corners here, would then become non-conforming and therefore increase the non-conformity of the house itself. For that reason, staff is not recommending approval of the lot line redesignation as the municipal code does not allow an increase in non-conforming space. So if the lot line redesignation is approved, then the applicant would need to go for a variance for the yoga studio, as that would not be meeting the accessory structure setback requirements. If it's denied, then the guest house would meet all requirements, as this would still remain the front property line. So if it's denied, this would be okay where it is. They would still need a special structure permit for the basement under the house, the guest house, and they would still be asking for approval for the retaining wall at the bottom. And one other thing is, if you do deny the lot line redesignation, they would then need to come back for a variance for the garage position, as this would now be in the front setback, or currently is in the front setback, I should say. So if you approve the lot line redesignation, the applicant is asking for a variance to allow the guest house and yoga studio to be located about 34 feet from the new property line, the new front property line. So from here to here. As you know, detached accessory buildings have to be located either 30 feet behind the front wall of the house or 120 feet from the front property line. As this is a flag lot, the applicant is able to ask for a special structures permit to locate the building at the front setback line, but again, they're requesting it in front of the residence and therefore needing a variance. We're actually supportive of the variance because of the slope for the lot. It is a very steep slope, and it's a pretty unique lot because not only because of the slope, but because of the two access areas for the neighbor's houses on either side. In addition, because of the slope of the lot, the location where it is one of the only other flatter areas on the lot. The other one being where the proposed garage is. We do believe that all findings can be made for the variance because of the driveways and the slope, as well as the drainage creek to the rear. In addition, the applicant's requesting a special structure permit for a basement underneath the studio. As you know, because of the slope, the basement itself actually walks out onto the site. There's not a light well per se to grant access. They're able to design the studio to be built into the hillside and take advantage of that slope. On the plans, you will notice a small light well that they've proposed for egress, and staff is recommending that be switched because they're not allowed to have light wells on the exterior side of the lot. So as a condition, we would recommend redesigning the floor plan or changing the uses within the building so that egress isn't required on that side. And then finally, the applicant is requesting a retaining wall for the rear portion of the property, which extends pretty much around the entire rear, and it's about, at the highest point is 9 feet here at this corner. Couple of things, it'll help with more outdoor space for the lot. If you went out there, you saw it was pretty steep. And there's not a lot of access back there, and it'll also kind of help hold up the hillside, as it does drop off pretty sharply at the end. There's a lot of screening on site, and we are recommending a condition that would require to have, pretty complete screening of it, so that the neighbors aren't impacted. Again, with the distance from the neighbors' homes and the 2 driveways to either side, we don't think it would be a significant impact on the neighbors. Staff has received 2 comments, both in support